Welcome back to the Prayin and Slayin Podcast, the official podcast of Light the Fire Outdoors. Today we are on another Operation Hunt series, this time with my longtime buddy Justin Wilson, a U.S. Army veteran who has got some bomb dog stories, drug dog stories, a lot of really cool things with his canine experience. Then he took an awesome buck in Indiana this year, nicknamed Goalpost, one of the coolest 6 points you'll ever see in your life. We'll be sure to have some pictures of that and some of the content we'll be releasing shortly. So with that, guys, let's jump into this next Operation Hunt series with Justin Wilson and Goalpost.
There we go. Got it.
Now your big, beautiful voice just boomed through.
That whole computer thing gets me,
I told you, dude. Computers are hard. I get, especially for you Army guys. You Army guys just don't get it, dude. The Air Force blesses us. Number one, that's why we have to get better scores in the ASVAB to even make it in the Air Force, because they want to make sure we at least can open a Word doc and the basics.
Hey, can you scan your camera down for a minute towards the floor? Because I bet you're in a rolly chair, aren't you?
Actually, no, we don't have one of those in this house, unfortunately.
Wow.
Budget cuts, ever since the Obama administration, yeah.
Oh yeah, been there, done that.
We couldn't afford to grease the wheels anymore.
Wow.
Well, heck yeah, man. Glad you were able to jump on. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Prayin and Slayin Podcast. This is another Operation Hunt series, and today, I might regret this, but we did decide to bring on Mr. Justin Wilson, a longtime buddy of mine. Known each other for a good handful of years now, and always have a blast. So there might be more shade thrown around in this episode than usual, but that's a good thing. And no, we're just glad to have him on today. He's going to tell us a little bit about his Army career. Unfortunately, he did join the Army, and he has shot an awesome, one of the coolest deer I've ever seen. I've got a weird thing for weird deer, and he just happened to kill about the most unweird but biggest 6 points I've ever seen in my life. So excited to hear the story of Goalpost as well. So welcome to the podcast, Justin.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. That beard's looking good. I was hoping you hadn't shaved it off again.
No, I got to get it trimmed up this week before Valentine's Day. I want to look not so homeless.
Well, that helps. My mustache is finally at the point where I can almost do a full heart. So that's what I'm
nice.
going for.
I like that.
Thanks. Me and the boy went and got our haircut today, and the lady goes, I told her we were heading down to Miami to go hang out with the wife for the kiddo's birthday, and she goes, "Are you going to leave that mustache on in Miami?" I go, "I guess I was planning on it. Should I not?" And she just starts laughing. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if maybe mustaches aren't kosher down there. The humidity's going to eat it up. I don't know.
Probably because it's so hot. I'd say yeah.
Probably. So this may be the last episode for a while with the mustache. I haven't decided. Not because of that opinion, but it may. I've been kicking it around. It's like, okay, I grow it for the rut every year. The rut's gone. Hunting season's gone. We trapped our fox. We trapped our raccoon this morning. Kiddo and I finally caught a raccoon. So we might be the mustache might be going away until later in the year. I don't know.
Wow.
So
why not just keep growing it now and get it prepared for the next rut?
It's a possibility. We'll see. It's like one of those things that starts weighing on you when you have to do it. You're kind of like, okay, it's just maintenance. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a big babe. I'm a diva. I'm from the Air Force, so
that's true. Bougie.
Exactly right. Well, heck yeah, man. Well, again, I'm excited to have you, dude. And well, let's dive into it. So obviously, like I said, you were Army. You did your full service tour, and just give us an overview of your career, man. What'd you do? What was your job? How long were you there? What rank did you retire at? All the good stuff.
So it's crazy, man, because I come from a small town. There's not a lot here for people to do if they graduate. So normally, like, my high school class was 67 people. And about, I think, 12 to 13 went in the military.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My goal was to go in. I was only going to do 5 years. I was going to do 5 years. That was my initial term. Do the 5 years. I was going to get out, become a state trooper. I joined in 96. I got stationed in Maryland right off the bat. Loved it there. Had a great time. Left, went overseas, was in Germany for a couple of years. Come back, and I was at Fort Knox, close to home for me. So, okay, I'll get out here. And I actually tested with Kentucky State Troopers. My now ex-wife, we found out she was pregnant. and I couldn't get in the academy I couldn't get an academy date before I got out, and I didn't want to get out with a wife, a child on the way, and she had a child from a previous marriage. So it's like, I got a decision to make. So I stayed.
Okay.
5 years turned to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20.
Yep.
But I'll be honest, it was probably the best decision I ever made. I mean, I remember getting to that hump of 10 years. I was sitting in Iraq at the time, and I called home and talked to my mom and my ex-wife. I was like, listen, I don't know if I should stay in and do 20 or if I should get out now, because there's still plenty of jobs out there. I mean, with me, I was canine at the time, so I mean, I can find a job, no problem. But I was afraid of losing those benefits and maybe sitting for a while before I could get through the interview process, all that stuff, and get the job nailed down. So I was like, man, I don't know. I'm glad I decided the other way and went ahead and re-enlisted and stayed in, because it was the best thing I ever did. But physically, I'm paying for it because I've got some issues. I don't blame the military for it. It's my own stupidity. I mean, when I was young, 16, 17, there's not a building in this town I haven't jumped off of or jumped out of. There's not a cliff around here I haven't jumped off of into a quarry somewhere. So, I wasn't too easy on myself.
Yeah. Heck yeah, dude. So you're back in the same hometown you started.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, like I told you before, I retired. I got a job back for the government as a contractor. I was doing that, and the wife got a job offer in Montana. She got a job offer in Kalispell and down in Billings. So she was going back and forth between the two, and I told her, I said, you hold the leverage. They want you. I mean, Billings actually flew her up there, paid for her hotel, everything, to come up and see the hospital she's going to be working at. And I told her, I said, I would use that to your benefit. Billings was offering a $5,000 bonus, and they would move us up there. Kalispell was offering her a $10,000 bonus. Or no, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Kalispell was offering her $10,000 moving expenses to pay for all of her move. Mm-hmm. Like I told her, they don't have to pay for the move. The government will pay for that, because I hadn't used my retirement move yet.
Oh, wow.
So they changed it then and gave her $12,000 bonus, and the military moved us up there. So we moved up there, and, it was great, but she kind of got homesick, and then, COVID hit. So it's like, well, let's go back and be with family. So here we are now. Mm-hmm. But we're looking at, so plan A is 6 years from now when my youngest goes to college, we're going to sell this place and move back to Montana. Or plan B, we've got some friends in Indianapolis. They're wanting, in about 10 years, they're wanting to move to Italy, and they want us to go too.
Yeah, I mean, those are two literally polar opposite goals, man.
Yes, completely opposite. So we've kicked, which to be honest, man, even when me and you were hanging out and stuff in Montana, we had talked about moving overseas later on down the road anyway, because we both love to travel. I've lived overseas for 7 years of my life. So, I mean, life overseas is so much easier than over here. It really is. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true.
Mm-hmm. So how so? I guess give us some insight on that. You've always had some background there.
Well, so, I mean, here, everything is it's too political. Politics plays into everything in everyday life. It just does. Over there, it's not. I mean, I lived in Germany for about 7.5 years, and I lived in 2 different places in Europe or in Germany. And life was just so easy going. The older generation of Germans, you get in these little villages, they just live their life. There's no chaos, no drama. You don't have to be careful what you say or who you talk to, or just nothing. I mean, it's easy. It's laid back. It's just simple life. Okay. And it's hard to find that anymore in the States. It really is. I mean, used to here in the U.S., you could go to these small towns and you could find that, but now everybody's moving out of the big cities, going to the small towns, and just turning them into big cities now. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, life's definitely changing and moving way faster. That's for sure. Yeah, things are. Yes, and that's good. But definitely, like you said, politics definitely infiltrating like almost every little thing you can think about. It's hard to escape it if you can. That's a good point. Well, you mentioned canine as part of your job. So I guess tell us, what did you start with canine, and what was like all entailed with your canine service?
I started out as a regular just road patrol MP. Did that for about a year. Got to Germany. I switched then to a field unit, so I was constantly on the field deploying. While I was in Germany, my 2 years, I deployed to Bosnia and Kosovo 4 times. So I spent pretty much my whole 2 years there deployed to Bosnia and Kosovo. When I got ready to leave Germany, I was friends with a couple of canine guys that were in Kaiserslautern. They call it K-Town. Pretty much, they call it Little America. It's got so many military personnel there. I was hanging out with those guys, and their boss one day, they call him Johnny Rage. Great guy, love this guy to the end, but I've seen this man do things when he's frustrated and irritated and upset that no human being should be able to do. I watched this man take a metal dog kennel. It's a 2-person lift. It even says on the side, 2-person lift. I've seen him pick that up and throw it over a 10-foot fence when he was mad. So you
AKA
don't,
Johnny Rage.
yes. And if he tells you to do something, you don't say no. So I was up there with those guys, and I've been going up there every weekend for probably 5 or 6 months and just watching them train, seeing what they're doing and stuff. And was I interested in going to school? No, not at all. I didn't want to work with a dog. I mean, they get mad, they bite you. It's like, that kind of sucks. I'm not up for that. I try to be smart about things. I choose my career path.
Right.
Well, I walk in the office. He goes, "Here, I need you to sign this." What's that for? "Oh, you're going to canine school." "No, I'm not." He looked at me and goes, "Yeah, you are." So my mind clicked back to the kennel incident and some other things I'd seen him do. I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm going." So I signed it, and there I started the journey. I was out of my 20 years in, 12 years I was in canine. I did everything from I had a drug dog where I searched for drugs. I did that for 2.5 years. And then I was a bomb dog handler for about 8.5 to 9 years. And then my last little bit in, I was leaving. I was actually stationed in Kansas, getting ready to go to Missouri. I come off my dog. They passed her to another handler, and I was the plans and ops guy. So pretty much my job then was it was based around logistics and setting up training. So logistic wise, my job was if you're one of my handlers in my kennel, it's time for you to deploy. I got to get everything set up for you. I got to get your flight taken care of, all your gear over to the Air Force Base, get it palletized, get it shipped out. Make sure you got your weapons, make sure your qualifications are good, everything.
Okay.
On the training side of that, we had 8 or 9 handlers in the kennels in Kansas. And my job was to make sure. So as a dog handler in the Army, the Air Force is a little different, and Marine Corps is different. Navy, they're all different on what they're what's the word I'm trying to think of here? What they have to do monthly with their dogs to stay certified and keep everything going. Okay. With us, we had to have 4 hours of detection training, so explosives or narcotics, depending on what your dog was, and then 4 hours of patrol training. So, going out, say we have a decoy, so it'll be like you in a suit running out in the woods. The dog has to come find you. We do regular bite work like we always do. And then, like I said, you got to have the 4 hours of patrol or detection. So I was in charge of setting that up. So I'd have to go find locations for us to go. And it was kind of cool. It was our boss then was a real good friend of mine. He was pretty easy on our training. So he kind of gave me a lot of leeway. We would go train out in Kansas City. I'd get with the ATF guys, DEA, FBI, all those guys. They'd bring their dogs in. We'd go out to the Kansas City Speedway and train. I'd train at the Chiefs Stadium, Kansas City Royals Stadium. What else? Well, they actually one training event we did. It was us, ATF, DEA. I didn't know at the time, BNSF Railroad had their own canine guys. They brought 2 of their dogs over, and we all went to this huge apartment building. They had just not really, I don't want to say evicted everybody. The company that bought it actually rehomed everybody that lived there, put them all in another apartment, and they were going to go through and redo this whole apartment building. There was probably 200 apartments in this place. We used the whole building for training one day.
Oh, wow.
And it was good for our guys because everybody thinks, okay, you're a military canine handler. You only take care of the base. No, we don't. I have done just as many bomb threat searches off base as I have done on base. So you never know what you're going to get yourself into. I've been called to search an apartment building before by myself, being the only dog team. I mean, yeah, I had other police, officers around or detectives, whatever, around to secure the scene, but I'm the only dog doing the whole thing. So it builds stamina in the dogs, and it also helps the handlers because it gives you familiarity with different areas. On base, we're not getting a 200 apartment building on there to search.
Oh, for sure.
We're getting big office buildings, stuff like that, but nothing like that. So, we did that, and then I left Canine and I became an instructor at Leonardwood. So my job there was just training privates on basic combat maneuvers and kind of like how to stay alive in combat. Pretty much the do's and don'ts in combat. So,
yeah, very cool, man. Well, I got to ask. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, especially after the Super Bowl. Just the best game I've watched all season happened.
I'm not a Chiefs fan, no.
Oh, good. Well, I was going to ask you, with all that dog training you did in there, you got to be careful because if your dog tackles the wrong guy, you're going to get a penalty. You just watch out.
So, I know. You can't even look at him.
No,
you can't even look at the wrong guy.
Surprised they even let you guys train in there.
Yeah.
Now, I guess explain a little bit. So, I got a cool chance. I always thought it was one of the neatest things that I got a chance to meet one of your dogs when we were up in Montana. I guess, is that the dog that you were with the entire time? And then I guess explain a little bit between like drug dog versus bomb dog. Do the dogs cross over? Or do they have a dedicated mission? That's all they do? Like, how does that work?
So the dogs never cross over. So the dogs actually they're trained at Lackland Air Force Base, just like we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're all trained at Lackland Air Force Base. The dogs go there so they have what they call buy teams that go out. So it's a mixture of Army personnel, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and there's Doc Hilliard. They call Doc Hilliard the dog whisperer. Mm-hmm. This guy can look at a dog and tell you exactly what the dog's thinking just from looking at it. They go all over Europe. They buy some here in the States too. They go out on these buy trips and buy dogs. They take them to Lackland. They train them up. They ship them out to all the different bases, Air Force, Navy, Marines, everybody. Mm-hmm. Once the dog is trained in a certain, drugs or explosives, that's where it stays. You can't cross-train them because if you do, let's say I have a German Shepherd. It's a drug dog. Well, I take it out on my own and start training on explosives. The next handler comes in. He doesn't know this. He goes out and he's searching for drugs, but the dog alerts on an explosive device. They go to open something, boom, kills them.
Okay.
So you don't want to cross-train them.
So it's like a handler and dog mission is why that's so important. It's because the dog doing its job could technically get the human in trouble and vice versa. Okay.
Yeah. Now, you'll never keep the same dog your whole career.
Okay.
Because the dog stays at that duty station. So like when I was in Kansas, the dog I had there, that's the dog you met, Besa. Mm-hmm. She stayed in Kansas. She stayed there. When I left, she stayed. Now, I was in Missouri when they retired her. So they called me and said, hey, we're retiring Besa. I was the only guy that ever really deployed with her. One guy took her to Kuwait, but I don't think they made it very long. I found out the hard way. When I picked this dog up, I got her certified. A deployment came up. I jumped on. I said, yeah, I'll take it. I went. When I got to Iraq, she started having seizures. So I had to watch what missions I went on and what I didn't, because I didn't want to get out too far from base and her have a seizure and something medically, seriously medically happen with her. Now we got a real big issue. I mean, I still did quite a few missions with her down there. She had a lot of bomb finds. She found a lot of explosive devices down there. She was a great dog, just, medical issue with seizures. They worked her when I got back, I went down 2009, 2010. When I got back, they ended up retiring her 2 years later, 2012. They retired her, and I brought her home. And I had her from 2012 all the way up till, I think 2019.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, she was a great dog.
Yeah, bomb dog.
Yep.
Awesome. And you work with, obviously training drug dogs too. Did you have a drug dog that you worked with or multiple?
Oh, yeah, I had a couple. I think my favorite drug dog would have been in Alaska. His name was Breston. That dog, man, was amazing. He was a brindle-colored Dutch Shepherd. Great at bite work, great at detection. Just great all-around dog. I begged and pleaded for them to let me take that dog when I left Alaska to go to Germany. They wouldn't let me take him. He was beautiful, man. Oh, and like I say, he was brindle color, but he was real dark all the way around. Man, at nighttime, go out and train with him in the dark, people couldn't see him. Guys would put the bicycle on, take off running, and when he hit you, he would roll you. It didn't matter how big you were; he'd roll you over. He'd knock you down because he would hit you. He would bite. So we always call it a full mouth bite, where they would bite down with their whole mouth, but he would swing his whole body into you. Well, he was 72 pounds.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he'd throw his whole body into you. Oh yeah, he didn't mess around. He knew how to use his weight. He'd throw you around.
That's pretty incredible. That's cool.
He was one of my best dogs. Now, my very best dog ever. You never got to meet her. I think I showed you her urn. I think that was my bomb dog, Sonia. I love that dog. And like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today. I'd be dead. That dog.
I mean, if you're comfortable with it, you got that story. Or
the thing is, there wasn't just one time though. I mean, there was. So with her, I did a lot of work with her before I deployed. So your favorite person, Josh Beckett.
Yeah, he made me a man. Well,
yeah,
he didn't
exactly.
make me, but he taught me how to be a man. Yeah,
exactly. He told you the steps to become a real man.
Exactly right.
To be honest, I learned that same day. I didn't know those were the steps you had to be a man either. I didn't know that.
Well, fortunately for you, you already were a man, which is good. I've only been a man for 3 years now, so
yeah, I didn't even know what steps it really took. I had no clue, so I learned that day too. It was an educational moment for both of us.
Exactly right.
But I knew Josh from way back in Alaska when I was stationed up there, and when I was in Germany before I deployed, my first time over there, my job was to go to the airport and pick up all branches when they would fly in, all dog handlers from all branches going overseas or coming from Iraq, Afghanistan, going back to the States. I would pick them up at the airport. We had a barracks room across from our kennels that had 4 rooms in it. So we'd put them up there, put their dogs in the kennel. We'd lock their weapons up in our little arms room we had. And, I would take care of getting them a flight back to the States and get them home or get them down range. Well, I took care of Josh when he came over. We were talking. He was telling me, he was going to Afghanistan at the time. He was working with special forces and stuff. And I can't remember if it was his first tour down or his second. I got a phone call one night about 11 o'clock at night saying, hey, we got a dog team coming in. The dog's getting medevac back here because it's got something wrong with its neck. I was like, okay. So I got dressed, got to the airport. It's Josh and God, what was her name? She was a great dog. I mean, amazing dog. Fanny. That was Josh's best friend, man. You need to talk to him one day and get him on here. You want to talk about, he'll never say it, but that guy he's a real warrior, real hero. He really is. I mean, the stuff that he went through and that he did, yeah, definitely for sure. But I picked him up. Well, while they were back in Germany getting his dog, she had surgery she had to have a gland or something removed in her neck. While they were recuperating, he would take me out and work with me on my dog for training. So me and him and Sonia were out working. He was showing me, work on her working off leash at long distances. He's like, there's going to be times, man, you're a bomb dog, but they're going to use you to kind of clear roadways. Really? Okay. So I did. I would stand in the middle of the road and I'd put my hand down to the left and she would search all the way down the left side. When she stopped, she'd cut across. I'd put my right hand down to the other side and she'd search back down that way to me. And I would mark a point where she stopped at, okay, there's a road sign there, or there's a crack in the pavement, whatever. I knew that's where she stopped. I knew it was clear all the way up. Mm-hmm. Myself, EOD, whoever, we could go ahead and move up the road to that point. And I just do the same thing all the way up till it was good. I mean, there's been times she's found what they call 155 artillery shells. She'd find those, they would daisy chain them together. And what they would do is they'd hook them all together and hook up C4 or Semtex. And it's just one big bomb now. So she's found a few of those, hidden in curbs and under the roadways, stuff like that. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. And there was all kinds of instances, things she had done.
This is Aaron, and I want to take a quick break from the podcast to talk to you about our first ever partner of the Prayin and Slayin Podcast and official partner of Like the Fire Outdoors, Dead Nuts Outdoors. These guys allow you to take your range and practice experience to the next level with their ultra high definition, life-size 2D targets. That's right, I said 2D. This technology is super cool because you no longer have to worry about bulky, weather-beaten, 3D, super heavy targets for your backyard. And for me personally, being a military family, this is super important. We're actually just gearing up to move to our next duty station here, and I get to fold my entire backyard range, which is a bighorn sheep, full-size grizzly bear, full-size elk, mule deer, pronghorn, and whitetail. All of these targets will fold up into just a few inches of space and weigh like just a couple pounds altogether. That's super cool. And they also just introduced their Vital X technology, which actually gives you guys an inside look at the real 3D anatomy of each individual target. Whether you're shooting a black bear versus an elk versus a whitetail, you just simply scan the target. It shows you a 3D real anatomy image of what's going on inside that target, so you can just get educated on why each shot is important and where that arrow or bullet that you hit, what it's actually doing inside as it affects that animal. Guys, if you want to check out more, go to www.deadnutsoutdoors.com. We are so proud to be partnered with these guys and taking their business to the next level. And please check them out again, www.deadnutsoutdoors.com. All right, now let's get back to the episode.
So I love that dog more than any dog I ever had. I mean, she's up on my up on our bookshelf here by the TV in an urn now.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty incredible, man. And so they're sniffing for the explosives and stuff. So how do they? How far? I guess in my mind, so I'm like, okay, the dog goes down there. The dog finds something. Talking Iraq and stuff. I mean, I'm sure that people sitting there watching, they're waiting to detonate stuff or whatever, like for you guys, do they ever try that on the dog itself, or do they just, is that too little of a victory for them, I guess?
No, they actually had bounties on the dogs' heads.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because so everybody thinks that a dog's nose, everybody knows that a dog's nose is really good, but they think that they can't find anything too deep. We had dogs. I'm not saying my dog. I've had other team members I've worked with, their dogs find stuff buried 6, 7, 8 feet deep.
Wow.
I mean, a dog's nose is amazing. This is the best way I can describe it to you. And this is what they told us in canine school. And then as I progress through my career, I can really see it. So just to picture it this way, you walk into a restaurant, you smell a cheeseburger, right?
Mm-hmm.
The dog smells the bun, the burger, the cheese, the mayo. They can break it down by each component. And that's how they're so good at finding explosives, because they smell all the chemical makeups of it. Mm-hmm. They don't just smell, okay, this is C4. No, they smell every single chemical that's put in that C4 to make it.
Wow. That's pretty incredible, man.
Well, we learned, I always told my guys, if you ever get to the point of your career, everything about canine, it's time for you to go. You have to get out of the program, because if not, you'll kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true, because you should always be learning. I learned a lot down there. We had, I was out searching a junkyard one time. Intel had come in from the neighboring village, and they said, hey, listen, these guys are building IEDs back there in this junkyard. So we go in, we start searching. I had Sonya at the time. I always trusted her nose. That dog was so good, I trusted her nose. She pulls this car and she's sniffing this old car center, this old abandoned car, sniffing. She responds. EOD comes in, they x-ray it, they tear it apart, never find anything. Come to find out, Iraqi tires that are made in Iraq have a chemical in them that they use in TNT.
So she alerted on the tires because the chemical, she could smell it. No way.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. And none of us knew that. So I called back to my unit in Germany after it happened. I was like, hey, I was talking to one of my guys. Man, I don't know what happened here. So in canine, we call it a false response. So we'll just say, hey, she had a false on me today. I called back and was talking to the guys, and he's like, no, man. He goes, trust me, it's happened before with other guys there. I was like, what are you talking about? So he sent me a write-up from some of our guys, like, yeah, this is what happened. And kind of find out, there's a chemical in the tire that they make down there that is in TNT. I was like, wow, okay. So I didn't feel so bad then, because she wasn't really throwing me a false response.
Yeah.
Because she was smelling a chemical, it just wasn't explosives.
Right. But she knew she'd found that before, and that was the right thing to get rewarded on. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty incredible. I always thought the dog side of things is really neat. One of my buddies I went through basic training with, he's a MP dog handler. I see his stuff on Facebook and stuff every once in a while and stuff, but those dogs are just neat. I hadn't never seen them work until at Malmstrom Air Force Base. We were stationed out there. They do the demos, where like they had the canine unit out on base. So you could go watch the dogs work in their, agility course and things like that. Every once in a while, you'd see a handler out there working with them, but then they'd always run. It seemed like they do it a couple of times a year, but our house like faced the BX, like my office did. So I'd get to watch it during the middle of the day, and they'd have, anybody come out in the parking lot and watch, but they'd have that dog, teed up or on leash or whatever. They'd have some dude in the dummy suit just take off running like a bat out of hell, and they unleash that dog, man. It is the wildest thing you've ever seen. Like they just, like you said, they bulldoze them. Humans stand zero chance.
No.
you can't get away. And I opened my windows one day. It was like during the summer, it was warmer. And you could literally hear it, like the impact when that dog would just nail somebody. It was awesome to watch. And then, when the guy gets his wits about him, stands up, the dog's just hanging off their arm. And dude, it's wild. It's so wild. That's cool.
Yeah. It's an awesome job, man. That's the one thing when we first started talking, I tried to have a little bit of diversity in my career. Like I've had friends of mine that came in as MPs. They stayed as MPs their whole career. In the Army, to further your career, you've got to do different things. You have to show that, you're well-rounded to get promoted to certain ranks and certain positions. So I wanted to make sure I had all that stuff in my back pocket. Plus, canine's a good job to have when you go to get out. You can find a job anywhere. Everybody, especially as a dog handler, man, people are hiring, especially nowadays with all the stupid things that are going on in the world. It's a good thing to have. So I miss it at times. I really do. Because when you walk on scene, no matter what the scene is, like in Alaska, we had to go break up a lot of bar fights. We just found the parking lot. People come out. We just kind of herd them over to their cars and get them out of the parking lot. Man, people walk out talking smack to MPs just standing there. They see that dog. Their attitude changes real quick.
That's one thing to mouth off to a human, but that dog has no emotion for you at all.
No, he just wants you as a big squeaky toy to chew on. That's it.
Yep.
I always have guys, I ain't scared of that dog. Well, he's not scared of you either. So
no, take off running. Watch what happens.
Yeah, go ahead and take off. We'll see how far you get.
That's nuts, dude. That's super cool. No, that's great. So I guess obviously you talked a little bit about your lifestyle over there. So you did overseas, you did home side, you went to Alaska. I guess talk a little bit about like the family life impact. As far as you sound like you had kids and a wife during your whole career. What was the family life like, and was it something they enjoyed? Was it stressful? Like how'd that go?
I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you it's easy, because it's not. It's hard, and I don't want to sound selfish and say it's just hard on me, because it's hard on the service member, but it's hard on the families. And I say kudos to any wife that can stay with a husband that does 20 years in the military and doesn't leave them, because it's hard on them. The kids are changing schools nonstop, so I don't know how it is for you guys. And I've had a few friends in the Air Force, and I've had some that stayed at one duty station for 6 years. That's unheard of in the Army. You'll get some guys that get through the cracks and they can stay 5 or 6 years, but I was never that guy. It was always 2 years. Oh, hey, we just got a red flag. You got a PC. Yes. Okay. So I'm jumping on a plane and going somewhere else.
No.
And being a dog handler, we're very sought after. It's a very sought after job. So, here stateside, we don't deploy to other states, but we may go, especially being a bomb dog handler, you may go with the president. President's coming to your area. You may be with him for 4, 5, 6 days, whatever. And if the Secret Service guys like you enough, I didn't know this could happen. They did it to me. They'll call back your unit and say, hey, we want this guy to stay with us, and you'll travel with him for a while.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you can be gone from home TDY quite a bit. So that's why I say it's hard for the spouses and the kids. I'm on my second marriage, so let's tell you something.
Yeah, and Becky, was she with you? That's your current wife. Is she with you during the military as well, or did that come after? Or?
Yeah, for the last little bit of my career, she was only with me for the last. Let's see, we got together in Kansas, so last 5, 6 years. So she didn't have to endure too much. I only went. I deployed once when me and her first started dating. I deployed to Iraq then. That was my last deployment, actually. I come back. We got married not long after I got back. And then we had the twins. We were in Kansas. We left Kansas, went to Missouri. We were in Missouri for about 2 years, and then we went to Fort Knox to finish my careers. We both had an idea we wanted to be close to home, just in case something happened in the family or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. While we were in Missouri, some medical things happened back here, so I kind of got our move pushed up by about 6 months to get back here quicker. And then once I got to Fort Knox, I was in a logistical unit. Our main headquarters was in Fort Bragg, but they had a little detachment there out of Fort Knox. Well, we went TDY to Germany for about a month. So that was really the only time me and her were really separated for a long period of time, was that TDY, and that's it.
Okay.
So she wasn't there for the 7 other deployments and all the other TDYs. She missed all that. So she got lucky on that aspect of it.
Yeah, for sure. And then, but I mean, still, even you said you guys moved a handful of times during that time. You still got TD. I mean, so she's seen it too. That's that's crazy. I didn't realize you guys, Army side moved around that much. And it makes sense. The dog handler would maybe do that a little bit more than somebody else. But I mean, this is my first run. And, obviously, I'm spouse on this point, but. The first base we were at, where I was still in with, and she's started her career there, was 4 years, and then Montana was 5, and then which she did do an extension there, but either way it would have been 4. But she got an extend for a year because of this school program and stuff. But yeah, this is the first like short turnaround. It's definitely different. Like I couldn't imagine, it'd be harder to imagine doing 2 years, and because we're about to do a 2, a 1, and then probably back to a 4 or 5 again, like the regular routine. But it's a little bit easier to think about in your head when you're like, okay, so we've got, in a 20-year career, you got, 4 moves or 5 moves total versus 1 every 2, like 10. That's insane. Like, and it's a lot. Oh, yeah. It's a lot of work. And I was telling another potential partner for Light the Fire Outdoors the other day, we were talking about different things with my upcoming move and schedule. And I was like, it's probably realistically, it's probably about a 3-month disruption in your life between the schedule and the move up front and all the extra stuff you got to do around your house. And then the move itself honestly takes about a month to get all settled in. Then you got a month afterwards where there's still stuff shaking out because you're still getting settled in and all that, all that extra stuff. So, really that's, a quarter of the year, anytime you move, and to do it every 2 years that's wild. Oh, yeah. That's insane.
See, the Army started when I was still in. They were trying to work it to where you didn't move as much so fast. You could be in duty stations for 3 or 4 years. It's hard to do that though. And that's the one thing we fought, as dog handlers, we fought that, hey, let us stay here for 3 or 4 years because I have a rapport with this dog. And that's the biggest thing people don't understand with working a dog is you have to build that rapport. The dog has to learn to trust you. If they don't trust you, they won't work for you. And I've seen it happen. I mean, when I got back from my last deployment in Iraq in 2010, I had base of the dog you met in Montana. I come off that dog because I didn't have longevity in the kennels. I was going to be leaving within 6 to 8 months. So they put another handler on her. He couldn't certify the dog. I worked with him for months. Could not get him certified. Well, then I got extended at Leavenworth for another 4 or 5 months. So I picked the dog back up and actually certified her again. I only worked her for a week and certified her again. And I hadn't been on her for 5 or 6 months. Took her to certify within a week. And because I didn't have 2 of our bomb dogs had just deployed to Iraq. So we had no certified dogs at the time. So the kennel master, like I said, was a good friend of mine. He's like, hey, can you pick her up and just certify her for now until I can get somebody else or another dog in here? I said, yeah, sure. So I certified her and kept her for about 4 months. So we had bomb support there. And we also, being there, we also supported the town of Leavenworth itself, not just the base, but the actual city.
Yeah. So I guess that's an interesting idea. I mean, I guess it makes sense that dogs and trust and the whole 9. I mean, a dog will act totally different around you if it doesn't trust you. Yeah. But as far as like a dog goes, if the dog's certifiable, can the dog not being able to be certified by a certain handler disqualify a handler, or how does that work? I guess.
So I don't know. So when I became a dog handler, that you had what they call an identifier. So me as an MP, I was a 31 Bravo. But then at the end of that Bravo, they would have a Zulu 6. So a Z and a 6. That showed anybody that saw my paperwork that I was a canine handler. Now, canine is its own brand, its own MOS. So it's its own job. Okay. So instead of 31 Bravo, you can join canine straight out of high school. You can go to the recruiting station and say, hey, I want to be a 31 kilo.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if they still do it the same. When I was in, as a dog handler, you would take a dog and they normally gave you 90 days. They give you 3 months to train before you went to cert, because they want to make sure you have plenty of time to train on this dog and build that rapport. And, you got to trust the dog. Dog's got to trust you, all that. We have to see how you mesh together. You would go to cert. If you failed cert, we'd give you another 30 to 45 days, depending on what the issue was, to train again and go. Now, if you failed cert a second time, you're out of the program. You were done. Okay. They didn't mess around, because there's always people wanting to get into canine. And see, back then when I joined, most of the time you had to do an interview. You had to go interview with the kennel master to see if you were the right fit to be in canine in general. My interview was going and watching those guys train and helping out. That was my interview. I didn't know it.
Gotcha.
So,
no, very cool. That's interesting. So you have you can lose your certification if you just can't qualify with the dog, which, I guess part of that, it could just be you're a negative fit with that one individual dog. Maybe another dog would have worked out better, but it doesn't matter, because they need you to be able to make sense too, because you're literally handing off dogs and taking on new dogs like all the time. So you never know that next dog you're going to get. So you got to be able to showcase like, hey, I can basically handle any dog, and here's how we're going to go about it. And interesting.
Well, in certain cases too, if you have a guy that is going to be a good handler, it's just him and the dog aren't meshing, they won't kick him out. They'll try to wash him to another dog and get him certified on that dog. If you don't have any dogs available, sometimes they'll just kind of keep you in the kennels, and you'll just you'll help out with training. You'll go like, I'll give you the explosives. You'll go in and set them up in the problem for the guys to come in and find.
Gotcha.
If a guy's a good handler, he's actually putting forth the effort, and you can tell, because you can tell once you see a guy work for a while and you watch him, you can tell if they're going to be good or not. So, I mean, if he's a good handler, we'll keep him. Now, if he's not, he's just going to be a turd. Bye. You got to go.
Yeah. Got to get rid of the turds, dude.
Yeah. You don't need them. Exactly. Flush them, move on.
Yep. Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome. Well, I guess as far as, memories go, you've had a long, like 20-year career. Like, do you have a memory that sticks out that was like your favorite moment in the military?
I would say probably the day that I met President Bush.
Yeah.
That'd have to be it.
Is that who you did the Secret Service work through?
Yeah, I was actually, that was in Germany. Actually, I just got back from deployment right before I retired Sonia. And Bush was coming over to Walter Reed to meet a lot of the wounded soldiers and stuff coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan. And they're like, hey, we need you to bring your dog up. Me and one of my other handlers, a real good friend of mine, Clayton Glover, me and him went over there and went to the hospital, and we're sweeping. And I got to this hallway. There's a guy at the end. He's got a suit on, but I can't see. Now, when we go and work with Secret Service, we wear suits, and then we have a pin. You got the Secret Service pin you wear on your lapel. I couldn't see the guy's pin at first, so I get down there. He's got a Secret Service pin, but he won't let me go. I was like, dude, I got to get through here and get down to the next floor down so I can sweep before the president comes through. I can't let you through here. And I guess the guy was new. Listen, man, I ain't got time to sit here and argue with you. I got to go. I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
You're going to get me in trouble. So I hear the door at the end of the hallway open. Here comes 2 Secret Service agents. Here comes the president behind them. I was like, oh, this is not good for me. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be on the floor below. Because we always leapfrog. So I'll search an area, the president goes into it, I'm already leapfrogging over the next one, and I'm moving on. Mm-hmm. You keep the area in front of him clear as he goes. That way it's just, it's a well-oiled machine. It flows.
That's smooth, yeah.
I'm slowing things down. I'm not trying to. So he comes in the hallway, and the Secret Service guy's like, what's the problem? I told him, I was like, listen, I'm trying to get past this guy and get out here and search the next floor before, the president moves on. I said, he's not letting me. And they're like, dude, what are you doing? He's got the pen. He's got his creds. Let him go. So the president stopped and wanted to talk to me about my dog and stuff. And he was petting her. He's like, can I pet her? I said, you paid for her, sir. Go ahead.
Right.
Who am I to tell you no?
Yeah.
I tell you no, next week I'm in Antarctica. No, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that was probably my most memorable one. He gave me his coin. So we get challenge coins. I'm sure you've got them too. Yeah. I got his presidential coin in my room in there.
No way. That's cool, man. You got the ultimate coin.
Oh yeah, it was neat, man. That's why I'd carry that in my pocket all the time. We go out to the bar. People either 2-star, 3-star generals. I'd pull out that. Boom.
Yep.
I'm drinking free tonight, boys.
Heck yeah, dude. That's amazing. That's super cool.
So.
And as far as petting the dog, I've always actually been curious about that, because the dogs, they're not afraid to, they're trained to, find different things, but also take down somebody, right? Like, is there other dogs that are like some that are just okay to have someone like that pet, or anybody, I guess, not just the president, and then other ones just the do not touch because that dog will tear your hand off, or how does that work?
The handler will tell you yes or no. They'll tell you if their dog. So let me see how I can say this PG-13. We had a term in the Army for it, but I can't really say that term on here. Really aggressive dogs, the handlers will tell somebody, "Hey, you got to stay back." And when we go on any kind of sweeps, we always take a spotter with us. The spotter's job is to keep people away from you and to look out for booby traps, bombs that are out in the open they can see. That's their job. Their job is to be your eyes and ears ahead of you, or pretty much a full 360 around you. If me and you were a team, you've got your dog, and I know your dog will bite anybody out there, they don't care, then I'll walk in front of you and move people back. Make sure everybody stays out of the way. Listen, this dog's coming by. We're working. Don't try to reach out and pet the dog. He'll take your fingers off. They don't mess around. Mm-hmm. My dog, I was lucky. I only had one of those where he would tear anybody up. He didn't care who it was. He'd bite me if he had to. He didn't care. I got lucky in the rest of my career and he was a drug dog, so I didn't care. He could bite whoever. I didn't care. If I'm going into an area to use him, they've normally either found something or we've got intel there's drugs in the house or the car or whatever. I don't care if he bites somebody then. I don't care.
Right.
But explosive dogs, I want them to be, I don't want to say calm, because I want them to have a switch. When I flip that switch, then I want them to, it's time for them to go. But I want them to be cool, calm, and collect until it's that time.
Right. So, the dog's got the off switch. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would make sense too on it. Like you said, a drug dog, they're more typically going to be running into a situation where they need to not really have a switch because they just need to be ready to fire off because they don't know what they're running into, and it could just happen, way faster, way different than searching for something you're hoping to just avoid rather than I got to sniff out and aggressively find this thing or a person or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've been curious. I actually just watched a little clip video. I don't know if it looked like a Malinois, or is it Malinois? Is that the?
Yeah, we got Belgian Mals. We've got Dutch Shepherds, German Shepherds. We use Labs now.
Okay.
I'm trying to think some of the other breeds they have. It's changed so much since I left. I mean, my last time touching a dog was 2012. So you figure that's been 13 years ago. I know it's changed a lot. I still try to keep in contact because I've still got a few buddies who are still active, they're dog handlers. I still try to keep up with them, but just so much change. It's like, it's not the same program anymore. I mean, it's only gotten better. I'm not saying it's gotten worse. It's gotten better, but it's one of those things where the training just evolves. It evolves with the times.
Oh, for sure.
That's the one thing I noticed with especially Iraq and Afghanistan. When the Iraqis would change the way that they attack us, we would change the way that we train. When they would adapt to the way we train, they would change things. We would come back in and change it again. It's constantly evolving. Because
for sure.
Criminals evolve. All criminals evolve. I mean, that's how they get away with it so long as they evolve.
Yep.
They get sneakier. They get better at hiding things, whatever. We do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Gotcha.
I will tell you one search that made me sick, and I still couldn't believe it. It happened at Fort Knox. I was working a drug dog there. I had this dog. He's a Belgian Mal, 82, 83 pounds. His name was Racker. Looked like a junkyard dog. When he ran, he wouldn't run straight. He'd run sideways. Yes.
Like but his back legs move faster than his front or something?
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just like his equilibrium was off and he just ran sideways. I don't know. But great dog. I mean, he was one of those where he could turn the switch on and off. If he knew it was time to bite, he'd bite. If it wasn't time to bite, he wouldn't. I was at home with my ex-wife one night, and we're sitting on the couch watching TV, and my beeper goes off. And this tells how long ago it was. Yeah. We had beepers. I go to the phone, I call, and it's the MP desk. Like, hey, we need you to come in and get your dog. We need you to go search a set of quarters. Now, this is on base. I'm like, okay. It's two staff sergeants are married to each other. I get there. They've got the husband and wife outside. I go in. I'm searching the house. And I mean, this guy was pretty smart. He thought he was a genius, but he wasn't. The dog goes, and in the living room, he starts showing change. In the middle of the floor in the living room was this big fish tank. When I say throwing change, it means he's smelling something. His change of behavior changed. He's trying to find it. Mm-hmm. He's sniffing up high, going all around. Man, I don't know where he's hitting at here. He gets around behind the fish tank where the filter is, and he sits. So I'm looking at it. I was like, what? I mean, it's a full fish tank full of fish, water everywhere. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I back up. I go back out the door, bring him back in the house. I cut him off leash, let him run around. He runs right back over. He's sniffing, and you could hear him, and you hear him blow out, and he sits. I was like, So
he knows he's found it.
Oh, yeah. So we have these guys, MPI, Military Police Investigations. They're kind of like the FBI of the MPs. They're all plain clothes. They come in, they start searching. I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and search the rest of the house. Now, this is where it made me very angry. You know, I can't show emotion. I can't take my aggression out on anybody. I just got to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
I go in this bedroom. It's a kid's room. I go in and search, and the dog responds on a crib. We lift the mattress up, and there's probably 2 pounds of weed under the mattress.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for part 1 of Operation Hunt Goalpost with Justin Wilson. Can't thank Justin enough for coming on this podcast, and we can't wait to jump into part 2 in a couple weeks here to hear the rest of the story with his dog canine experience, and also with his story of Goalpost, an awesome deer. Listening to Justin talk about these bomb dogs and drug dogs and everything that they can do that we can't as humans, it just reminds me to keep putting our trust in God, and brings me to a verse from Psalm 56. It says, "Oh God, have mercy on me, for the people are hounding me. My foes attack me all day long. I am constantly hounded by those who slandered me, and many are boldly attacking me. But when I am afraid, I will put my trust in you. I praise God for what he has promised. I trust in God, so why should I be afraid? What can mere mortals do to me?" Listening to those dogs going ahead and sniffing out bombs and protecting soldiers and all the men and women over there serving from things that they'll never see coming, that people have prepared to destroy them ahead of time. It's just pretty amazing. And then, this last story here with the drug dog, sniffing things out from, under a kid's crib, just thinking of having a 3-year-old and having the audacity to store drugs in their crib. It's just insane. But man, what an incredible opportunity for us to have an animal and a friend like a dog to get out there and do stuff, and people like Justin to handle them and harness those things for the good is just pretty incredible. So with that, guys, I'm going to let you guys get back to it. As always, thank you for checking out Light the Fire Outdoors. If you want to support us, go ahead and go over there and check out all the cool stuff, the Prayin and Slayin swag and whatnot. And also be sure to check out Dead Nuts Outdoors, www.deadnutsoutdoors.com. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the podcast. And as always, keep praying and slaying.